All right. Sure, my mic is on. Give this a moment to push out. Title is that. All right. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on, we are live. A moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives. All right, let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. There we go. Now, having said that, let's get started. Let's get started. You see the title. Hopefully, everybody's been doing the best that they can in the situation that they are in. Happy Mother's Day again. If you look at the community wall, you will see a nice little Mother's Day message posted. And so I have to say, mothers, you're a parent 365, 24/7. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And those who stand in a mother's stead. All right. So go ahead and do the share on this. Mm-hmm. Let's get to this music. We'll get started.
Aretha Franklin. For me. Remember on our first day.
Okay. Playing that on the share. This is I don't like. I don't like that sound. All right, I don't like the way the music is playing through on this. But let's get off into this. Because my slides are. I don't like the way the music is playing. My slides are uploaded. You see the title. Lies, liars, lying, Supreme Court justices, elected officials, and the like. Now, I'm just going to let the record show. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to let the record show. Let's get off into this. I'm just going to go ahead and let the record show. Is that all right? Whether it's all right or not, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and let the record show. Now, you either are, when it comes to these issues that impact you as citizens, you either are going to tell the truth or you're going to be a politician with no integrity. So hear me good. When it comes to Roe v. versus Wade, before I get to the video clips in the background, and I'm going to let the record show, we will hear from Supreme Court justices' mouths themselves. I'm not going to put words in their mouth. No need to ever do that. People talk enough to where you don't need to put words in their mouth because they'll just freely regurgitate some things or freely disseminate some information with their lips. So, before we go there, though, I need people to understand this. See, because some people had a preconceived notion that when you say people have a free will, because we're tripartite, that's the way I believe humans to be. Let me lay the groundwork real quick. Spirit, soul, and body. Soul is your mind, will, emotions, imagination, and intellect. Everybody has a free will. Okay. And so when you say people have a free will and the will of man or humankind, when it comes to choices, should not be dictated to, people take that and run with it and say, oh, you are celebrating abortions. No, nobody's celebrating that. And at the same time, Christian conservatives, whoever, whatever, and the like, need to understand that if your God or the God that you claim you serve or the God that you claim you know that you serve is forcing his will upon another person or human beings, that's a rapist. Okay? And a dictator. Let me be clear about that. That's my perspective on that. Now, the God that I claim that I serve is not a rapist or a dictator. He gave everyone a free will, and he does not force the will of mankind. He wants to be chosen. He's not a rapist or a dictator. And in that same Bible that they claim that they hold near and dear, it plainly tells them, their scriptures plainly state from their God that they claim that they know, choose you who this day you gonna serve. If it seems evil to serve me, don't. But you choose. Period. Over and over, that same God tell them in the New Testament and the Old, it's about choices. If you want to follow me, then you follow me. If you don't follow me, then don't follow me. So when it comes to, again, people, life decision and choices, I don't know about anybody, the God that everybody else claim they serving is, I'm going to get you, God. Okay. You go ahead and you serve, I'm going to get you, God. The God I serve is easy to be entreated, full of grace and mercy and compassion. And so those who would say it's about my Christian values, the same one who say it's about their Christian values, you don't do anything for the living, but you want to do something for those who are not birthed out on the earth yet. Miss me with the hypocrisy. Okay. Now, having said that, because I have to make it real plain. Some people think, oh, well, you're celebrating this, you're celebrating that. No, I'm not celebrating anything. But what I am going to tell you is people have a free will. And if you dare to violate anybody's free will and force yourself upon them, you have a rapist ideology and a dictatorship mindset. Okay. Now, having said that, oh yeah, we need the reparations checks too. That's what I feel about that. Okay. Free labor for years. Yeah. That's what I know to be true. The God I serve, or the God that I claim that I'm with, is also a God of recompense. That means he will repay. That's right. So having said all of that, I want to go to these Supreme Court justices because it's in the title, clear as day. I'm not going to put words in their mouth. Again, I'll say it again. I don't have to put words in anyone's mouth. People talk enough and regurgitate enough on their own. Okay. I'm just going to let the record show and hold them accountable for the lies as being liars, lying, full of hypocrisy. Right? I'm going to let the record show because what? Accountability. People want to scream and holler, justice, 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 this, that. I'm for this, I'm for right, I'm for righteousness, da 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 da. But you don't want to be for accountability. You want to sit in seats of authority for power and control, but people don't want to be held accountable for their actions. All right. And these are supposed to be Supreme Court justices. Okay. Impartial and non-biased. Where? All right. Having said that, I set that up, so let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and just let the record show. That's all I can do. I can just go ahead and let the record show. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let's get to it. My words, their words, not mine. By your words, you will be justified by your words. Words. Just let the record. I'm just going to play their words and call for hypocrisy and lying.
I believe the Constitution protects the right to privacy. And I have no reason or agenda to prejudge the issue or to predispose to rule one way or the other on the issue of abortion.
Roe versus Wade is an important precedent of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has reaffirmed the decision, sometimes on the merits, sometimes in Casey, based on stare decisis. And I think that when a decision is challenged and it is reaffirmed, that strengthens its value.
It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It was reaffirmed in Casey in 1992 and in several other cases. So a good judge will consider it as precedent of the United States Supreme Court, worthy as treatment of precedent like any other.
This is an important precedent of the Supreme Court that's been reaffirmed many times, but then and this is the point I want to make that I think is important, Planned Parenthood versus Casey reaffirmed Roe and did so by considering the stare decisis factors. So Casey now becomes a precedent on precedent.
People use super precedent differently.
Okay.
The way that it's used in the scholarship and the way that I was using it in the article that you're reading from was to define cases that are so well settled that no political actors and no people seriously push for their overruling. And I'm answering a lot of questions about Roe, which I think indicates that Roe doesn't fall in that category. And scholars across the spectrum say that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled. But descriptively, it does mean that it's not a case that everyone has accepted and doesn't call for its overruling.
I believe the Constitution protects the right to privacy. And I have no reason or agenda to prejudge the issue or to predispose to rule one way or the other on the issue of abortion.
Roe versus Wade is an important precedent of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has reaffirmed the decision, sometimes on the merits, sometimes in Casey, based on stare decisis. And I think that when a decision is challenged and it is reaffirmed, that strengthens its value.
It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It was reaffirmed in Casey in 1992 and in several other cases.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. I'm just simply letting the show. On the same video. This
Courts in general should follow their past precedents.
It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court.
It has been reaffirmed many times over the past 45 years.
And it's the principle that courts in general should follow their past precedents. And it's important for a variety of reasons. It's important because it limits the power of the judiciary. It's important because it protects reliance interests. And it's important because it reflects the view that courts should respect the judgments and the wisdoms that are embodied in prior judicial decisions.
Senator, again, I would tell you that Roe versus Wade, decided in 1973, is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It has been reaffirmed. The reliance interest considerations are important there, and all of the other factors that go into analyzing precedent have to be considered. It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It was reaffirmed in Casey in 1992 and in several other cases.
And one of the important things to keep in mind about Roe v. Wade is that it has been reaffirmed many times over the past 45 years, as you know. And most prominently, most importantly, reaffirmed in Planned Parenthood versus Casey in 1992.
Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
Senator, I completely understand why you are asking the question, but again, I can't pre-commit or say, yes, I'm going in with some agenda, because I'm not. I don't have any agenda. I have no agenda to try to overrule Casey. I have an agenda to stick to the rule of law and decide cases as they come.
Courts in general should follow their past precedents.
It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court.
It has been reaffirmed many times over the past 45 years.
Okay, so let me put.
And it's the principle that courts in general should follow their past precedents. And it's important for a variety of reasons. It's important because it limits the power of the judiciary. It's important because it protects reliance interests. And it's important because it reflects the view that courts should respect the judgments and the wisdom that.
Okay, so we just heard their words. Their words, nobody else's. Now, first of all, the justices don't need to be on a lifetime appointment on a bench, period. I've never agreed with that, and I still don't agree with that to this day. If a president only gets to serve for 8 years, there is no possible way that a Supreme Court justice, I don't care who appointed them, should have lifelong appointments. Okay, that's out of order. All right. Now, you just heard some Supreme Court justices set up during their hearings, and I've started with Clarence Thomas for a reason, who should be impeached, while they're attempting to deflect away from the fact that he was complicit and his wife participating in the overthrowing of the government and a attempted coup, as well as some election fraud. Period. I'm just going to make it plain. Okay? Everything leaves a digital fingerprints. And so, the digital fingerprints that are left from electronic evidence is being revealed. People want to act oblivious, like, oh, let's move on to something else. No, I don't think so. because a little leaveth the whole lump, and right is right and wrong is wrong. Who's the law for? Is the law for the lawful to protect lawful citizens, or is the law for the protection of the lawless? I'll ask it again. It's an age-old question. Is the law for the lawful, or is the law for the lawless? Or is the law for both? Because if the law is for everybody straight across the board on a level playing field, we would not have the level of corruptions and criminality coming from elected officials and judges who are simply politicians that we have today. Okay, Clarence Thomas, a politician. Kavanaugh, a politician. Brett, a politician. They're politicians. So don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. They're politicians. That's why at the beginning, I just let the record show. Their words, not mine. Don't need to put words in their mouth. And so they either lied at that time or they were telling the truth. They are either liars or truth tellers. They're either lying or they're fabricating stories, which is a lie. Now, they've been put in the lies, liars, and lying category for a specific reason. And that's not the only example. You can go back through history, get them on record saying this, and people like, well, oh, people changed their mind. No, they had their ideology when they were being confirmed. What they were doing in those seats was politicking. Okay? And the cliche and the saying is what? Is what? What's the old cliche and the saying? If you'll lie, you'll steal, and you'll cheat. Okay? Most people, you lie, you steal, you cheat. You lie, you steal, you cheat. And so when it comes to the election process, elections have been stolen by the hands of ballots being tossed out by con parties, Republican parties, old Dixiecrat parties from way back in the day, and other political parties. But right here, right now, I'm going to let the record show for the GOP, the grand old party. I'm just going to let the record show. Not only I'm going to let the record show their words, not mine. I'm going to look at their voting record, okay? Their history of voting tell you what they're about, okay? It's going to tell you a little bit about what they believe in and how they'll make their decisions and what they're about, all right? And so when I look back at voting, it's not been advantageous for people. It's been advantageous for big business. Big entities are not people. They are ran by people, but they're not people. It's an entity. Buildings that they love to protect, certain buildings that they love to protect, that they always scream and holler that they are protecting, are not people. It's a building, right? Rights, okay? Let's get there. They want to protect everybody's rights. And you heard Clarence Thomas say, when it came to Roe v. versus Wade, that was about a protection of privacy rights. Well, what happened? And the one that was confirmed last year, that never should have been elected because she had no experience being a judge, and she's sitting her inexperience behind up there. And she's not qualified. Let me make that plain. She lied too. What happened? What happened? What happened? Yeah, I'm just let the record show. I'm going to let the records, plural, show. Yeah. And some people want to be around and feel a type of way. Well, feel however you want to feel, but it still don't change the facts. And the fact of the matter is, and the reality of the situation is this: they are politicians who sit up there, told lies, liars, and lying, a constant state of telling lies to protect their own. If it's not impacted them, theirs, and they little buddies or they little group and they little friends, say rah for everybody else. Whatever will be, will be. Because there's no possible way that innocent men and women who did nothing should still be sitting in prison to this day, waiting to be heard, waiting for their cases to be heard by Supreme Court justices. There's no possible way you can sit up here and tell me that you care about children rights. You're pro-life, and you don't even take care of the living that you see every day. How is it that they can be so concerned about the ones that they don't see? How is it that from their lips, they claim to have all this love for one that they don't see, and they don't even love the ones that they do see every day? Because let's break the statistics and facts down. Let's go facts and statistics. Who's the poorest group in the United States of America? What's the poorest group, age group in the United States of America? What is the poorest age group in the United States of America? Who faces the most food disparities? Number 2, in the United States of America. What age group is it? The poorest age group in the U.S.? What group is it? Food disparities in the United States of America, since they say they care about the right to life and children. Let's go there. Okay. The poorest age food disparities in America. The most impoverished group, age group in America are who? Children. Who faces the highest percentage of food disparities in the United States of America? Kids. And so you have the grand old party and people from the grand old party running around with shenanigans and foolishness like they always do, hoodwinking some people who know better. It's different categories. Some people know better. Some people just don't care as long as they can get what they want. And other people are just feeble-minded. They really don't understand. Okay? So you have the grand old party running around in Christian evangelicals, whoever, whatever, running around talking about, oh, we this, and you don't even take care of the ones that's here. When was the last time that the grand old party showed up because a African-American teen who was murdered by the police, or a white teen was shot down by the cops, or a Asian teen, or a Mexican teen? When was the last time that they filled the courtrooms to stand for justice for that one? When was the last time that they showed up in mass numbers for little kids who are 5, 6 years old being accosted? That we see it all the time. When was the last time that they did that? When was the last time that they showed up at foster care facilities to adopt those kids out, since they care about a right to life? So you mean to tell me, again, these lies, liars, and the lying care about a right to life, and they don't even take care of the living? They won't even take care of the living. They won't even take care of the kids that are living if it's not advantageous for them. Foster care system is packed. And this party is attempting to continuously bewitch people into thinking that they really have a heart of compassion, care, and concern for people. the legislation that they draft and the way that they vote say differently. And again, I'm real specific, and I got the like. So the like would fall into that category. Okay. Shoes fit perfectly. They're to be worn by that particular party. But there's no way that judges in the United States of America or any elected official in the U.S. should be functioning as a dictator. They have no right to dictate other people's personal choices in terms of what they want to do, their family decisions they're making. If they're going to, if they get pregnant, well, then they want to dictate to them, you better have a child. Okay, they had a child, but if they can't take care of the child, then what happens? The child goes into the system. And we know how the system works. Most of the time it don't. And yes, appointments are a problem. Appointments are a problem. This hypocrisy, this foolishness, and these shenanigans are a problem. And again, I can't say it enough. You can't force the will of human beings and mankind. You can't force them to keep a child, or you can't force them to do things or see things your way. That's a dictatorship. This is supposed to be a democracy. Again, this is not a communist nation. It's not supposed to be. Let me say it again. This is not supposed to be a communist nation. This is supposed to be a democracy, not a dictatorship. So we got justices who want to harp on abortion at this point in time, which is a deflection off Clarence Thomas being impeached as a judge for the attempted coup and the insurrection that took place. So that's my perspective on that. Spin and deflect, bait and switch, spin and deflect, deflection off of Tim Cotton, Jim Jordan, those who were complicit when it came to the attempted coup, or those who were complicit when it came to overturning the election. Those who support criminality and then want to throw everybody else in prison. Again, who were the laws created for? The lawful or the lawless? And in the United States of America, nobody is supposed to be above the law. No judge, no president. I don't care if you a doctor, lawyer, whoever, whatever, right? A police officer. Nobody's supposed to be a little above the law. So we have lies, liars, and people lying. Lies, liars, and people lying. Elected officials sitting up there, lies, liars, and lying. Judges who's supposed to serve in one of the highest offices in the land, a Supreme Court justice, lies, liars, lying. Not my words. And go back and let their own words reveal a thing to them. Not mine. Like I said, you don't need to put words in people's mouth. People will talk enough and regurgitate enough to where you don't have to put words in their mouth. All you have to do is go back and let the record show. Leroy, what you say to Supreme Court justices? Yes, they do need an overhaul. They've been needed an overhaul a long time ago. That's just more than your 2 cents. That's just the truth. Go down to this right here. That's just the truth, Leroy. The Supreme Court justice needs an overhaul, and they do. The United States of America system, judicial system, all of their systems need an overhaul. And at the same time, while we are attempting to overhaul these systems, don't nobody get to escape from accountability. And that's the problem. They want the position or the positions, the issues, but they don't want the accountability factor. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions and what they said. They just want to say and do whatever they want to do without any accountability. And it is our responsibility as U.S. citizens to stay actively engaged. We have a right, according to our Constitution, for redress, and we have a right to petition the courts. That is our right. We have a right to hold elected officials and Supreme Court justices accountable for their actions, for what they say and what they do. Period. We have to actively stay engaged, because while we were sleeping, this is going on. While we are sleeping, that is going on. You turn your head this way, they're over here doing a bunch of this and that. You turn your head this way, they're over here doing a bunch of this and that. It is our responsibility as U.S. citizens to hold elected officials accountable for their actions and for what they say. Excuse me. No president gets a pass. Supreme Court justices don't get a pass. So let's go right back there into Roe v. versus Wade, and let me explain something. So, an opinion was given, and Robert, who wrote that opinion, I need people to realize this. He's the same Looney Tune. I'm going to call him a Looney Tune in terms of his thinking and ideology, who set up and said, this is why nobody wanted that one, wrote that opinion on Roe v. versus Wade to be seated. No one with good sense wanted him on the bench. The same one that said it is illegal for a husband and wife to use condoms. Let me pull it back, because for the people who may miss it, he's the same one who said it is illegal for a husband and wife to use condoms. That's that same one that wrote that opinion that was leaked. And people say leaked, but over in America, we're supposed to have freedom of press. Freedom of the press. Freedom of information. Because the judges are supposed to work for the U.S. citizens. Let me say it again. The judges are supposed to work for U.S. citizens, plural. That's the same judge that said that. There's no it's no way he should even be seated. That's the same one. But oh, wait a minute. While we're right there talking about the lies, the liars, and the lying from elected officials and appointed officials and judges and the like, and we're talking about the hypocrisy of those who call themselves religious. What if they made adultery a crime and illegal, and they got fined? Not fined, put in prison for that. Would they still be participating? I'm gonna pause that right there because they want to jump on abortion, and some evangelicals or religious groups or whatever want to talk about abortion, but they don't want to talk about the adultery that they commit. Selah, pause and think about it. They don't want to talk about the fornication that they were committing before they got married. What if we made that illegal? Selah, pause and think about it, since they want to be in the realm of dictating to someone how they should live. And I'll say it again. God is not a dictator. The one that I serve is not a dictator. He does not force his will on man or woman, mankind, period. Because if he did, everybody would be saved, right? Am I right? Yes, I'm right. There would be no need for prisons. If a real God was forcing his will on everybody, everybody would just be good. There would be no evil. Evil wouldn't be prevailing. If he was moving like a dictator, okay, and per their Bible, if their God was moving like a dictator. King James Version, Amplified Version, New Living Version, the Message Version, whatever version they reading from. Want to sit up talk about abortion, and they didn't have and I am exaggerating this right here, didn't have 50 million divorces. You want to sit up and be in somebody else's life talking about what they should and should not do in terms of abortions, and want to say, oh, it's a sin, you shouldn't do it. Stealing is a sin. Let me say that again. Stealing, according to their Bible, is a sin. Let me say it again. Stealing. Stealing, which their ancestors, many of them in the Grand Old Party ancestors did, and they have done, is a sin, but they don't want to deal with that. They want to skate all around and deflect onto everything else except for what they are doing, and then come out here with great condemnation for everybody else, or those who, are making decisions. And I will tell you this, when it comes to that topic, now I asked the person, do you know anybody who's been raped? I do. Do you know anybody who was raped? I know a couple of people who was raped. Not only that, I know a couple of people who was raped and forced to have the baby. Women, females, yeah. And so, do you realize the trauma that they go through and that the child would go through? Yeah. People want to talk and run their mouths and say, what isn't that? Is this, is that, is this and that? But you don't really want to face the reality of the situation. You don't really want to deal. They don't really want to deal. They just want power and control. I'll say it again. They just want power and control. They just want power and control. It's all about power and control. It's not about justice. It's not about doing anything that's advantageous for anybody else. It's about power and control and a dictatorship. Oh, okay. Mm. 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 Again, their words, not mine. I didn't say it. I just let the record show. That's all. Hmm. Again, we have to stay actively engaged. Lifetime appointments. We have to vote people in, and again, we need to pay attention to what's going on at the state level with these laws, because some states have just ran out and said, okay, pushing laws saying that, you terminate babies, then could be a felony or different things like that. So as U.S. citizens, we have to stay actively engaged. We have to stay actively engaged. We have to stay actively engaged. If you don't like the person that's elected, I can't say it enough, you run for the office, okay? If you, in your state, run for the office if you don't like the people that are elected from your state, your city. You run for the office. You be that man and a woman that run for the office. But at the same time, we as U.S. citizens have to stay actively engaged. Okay? We can go to sleep, but at the same time, while we are in that state of rest, we need to stay consciously aware and consistently participate. And by the way, I'm still waiting for Pinocchio number 45 to have his day in court. Donald Trump, the master deceiver. Yeah. I'm still waiting for him to have his days in court. Now, having said that, again, you can go back towards the beginning of the video, and I had the echo on, and listen to Clarence Thomas and other Supreme Court justices from the Grand Old Party tell lies, sit there and lying, be in a state of lying, and you'll find out why they are deemed liars. So should you go back and somewhere towards the beginning and take a look at that. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. You can leave a comment in the comment section if you like. Again, people have preconceived notions. You can have a perspective. Good. That's fine. You can have an opinion. Okay, fine. But your opinion will never change the facts. Okay? It's a difference between an opinion and what's factual. Okay? Those are different. So, again, having said that, we have to stay actively engaged. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. And go back. You don't have to put words in their mouth. All you have to do is go back and play what they say, like Margie Taylor Greene. Just go back and play what they say. You don't have to put words in the mouths. You just go back and play what they say and let the record show. And then hold them accountable. All right, everybody. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Stay safe.